Hi Stampers, I'm Meg, and for December Stamps in the Mail Club I have another umbrella weather project, or weather together, umbrella weather is a framelits, another weather together project to share with you. This one I will talk a little bit about using blender pens to do some shading and some work with your umbrellas. We're using shimmery white cardstock here, which is a great thing to use with your blender pens. So let's get stamping and I'll give you some tips. So we'll need the strip of metallic elements enamel shapes that are in your kit, as well as this Island Indigo backed card. And the pieces for this one include a piece of shimmery white cardstock, which is one of my favorite cardstocks for watercoloring. So I'm going to place this underneath here and go ahead and grab my first stamp. The Stampin' Spots are included in your Stamps in the Mail kit unless you already have them, the colors of ink, in which case you can just request something different with your kit. So I'm going to go ahead and start here, stamp my first one. Now while it's still a little bit wet, I'm going to take my blender pen and use that to squish the color around a little bit. Here, we'll zoom in. There we go. So as I go here, I'm just running back and forth over the color. Blender pens don't have any color to them. They're clear, have sort of a glycerol water mixture in them, glycerin water mixture. And what they do is they pick up ink from another source. So in this case, the blender pen is just picking up the ink that's already on the shimmery white cardstock and smoothing it around. So what this does, because there's a shadow in the line where the umbrella sort of indents there, what this does is it just gives a little bit more dimension to our umbrella. And then I'm going to run just along the outside edge here too, since we'll have a shadow there. Alright, so it just looks a little bit more dimensional. And then you can clean off your blender pen and so that it's ready for the next color. Alright, so the next umbrella that I'm going to do, I'm cleaning my stamp off the camera. So this is cleaned, and I'm going to go ahead and do one here in Mint Macaron, which is another color included in the kit. So you get 3 Stampin' Spots this month. And I'm going to place this one kind of down here to the side. Here we go, and same trick. Now when I was doing my samples, I found that the mint didn't want to pick up. So what you can do instead is you can take your Stampin' Spot and just tap it here on the corner. See how there's some mint ink there? Tap it there on the corner, and then you can use that with your blender pen as a palette, and it picks up the ink, and you can use that to spread that around. And with the blender pens, you don't want to go back and forth endlessly on the shimmery white cardstock, or you'll end up making the cardstock pill. So you want to get as much shading done without going back and forth as much as you can. So don't plan to keep going over and over and over a spot. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up and color, pick up and color. Okay. And then I'll do one round around the outside here, and one round around the outside here. The new Occasions catalog is coming, and there are watercolor pencils in it. They are beautiful, and they work great with the blender pens too as a watercolor tool, so look forward to those. Alright, then the last one, I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp, ink again, and do my Island Indigo umbrella. With that done, the next thing I need to do is make a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this, and actually this is a post-it notepad. I like to stamp them so that they're right up there at the top where the sticky is. And I need 2 of these. So go ahead and take your scissors then and cut out, and you want to cut right at the line. You don't want to leave a shadow around. So go ahead and cut out your umbrellas. Okay, because we need to add our stems here, but we want to add them without interfering with the drawing that's already, or the stamping that's already in the page. So I'm going to use my masks to just cover up the umbrellas that might be in question. And I'm going to ink my handle here in Sweet Sugar Plum. And then with these protected, I can go ahead and stamp here on my umbrella to add the handle. Okay, and then when I pull them off, then ta-da, we have a handle that's behind. So now I'm going to move this mask down here because I'm going to need to use it for, get that cleaned off on my Stampin' Scrub. My Mint Macaron one. So mint, and add the handle to this one. see, there we go. And then finally doing the Dapper or Island Indigo to add the handle here. Okay, so then when we pull it off, we have all of our umbrellas with their handles. So easy. And then once you've made these masks, just stick them in the top of your stamp case because you'll want to use those again. So now you don't have to make them again next time. All right, then adding some things to this, I'm going to go ahead and add some rain with my Island Indigo, but I'm not going to go ahead and add them full strength. I'm going to stamp once on my scratch paper and then once on my project here. And I'm going to do the raindrops on the outside, and then on the inside I have my Sweet Sugar Plum. And you could even put your, we'll grab a mask here again. I can use this one again, I think. Grab my Sweet Sugar Plum because we want some hearts here under our our umbrellas. So kind of fun. Okay. So there we have that. And then the last thing to add to this is the stamped banner here, stamped greeting. And the greeting I have is, okay, I can't even remember what it says. Let's just put it on there and then we'll get it. Okay, oh, it says we'll weather this together. I'm going to put that on there, cut a banner end for this, and trim there. And then there's a piece of the silver foil sheet, which I love. And I'm going to stick this here on the bottom of my banner. And then I can cut this. I'll just clip this here to match at the bottom. There we go. And then this is going to go on here with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So we'll grab a couple of those and place that. And then the last thing to do will be to layer your card. The Sweet Sugar Plum goes here, and the Island Indigo is behind it. Oh, that's not the last thing. There's one more thing. There's always one more thing. The metallic dots here, sorry, I keep calling metallic dots. They're not the metallic dots, they're the enamel shapes. And I'm just going to put 3 of them there on the little corner and fold that together, and there we have our finished card. So really a fun way to use your blender pens to get some nice shading on your umbrellas there from the Weather Together stamp set. If you'd like to request a Stamps in the Mail Club kit, make sure you check my my website or my blog. I have a couple kits left for December, and I would love to get one out to you. Happy stamping! Thanks for watching.